Thank you for the opportunity to be here. Yes, I'm a minister in the Protestant Church of the Netherlands for more than 30 years, and at the same time a staff member of Christians for Israel, and also very much involved in the work for the settlements for Shomron and Judea. When we look at the Protestant Church of the Netherlands, which is the biggest, the largest church in Holland, more than 2 million members, you see there's a fierce discussion about Israel, which almost divides the church. We have a section in the church that's called Kerk in Actie, Church in Action, which is responsible for mission, for diaconical work, and for development aid, which is very pro-Palestinian, in which there are a lot of leftish and liberal people. They are supporting Sabil, and they are supporting the Kairos document, and sometimes they invite Naim Ateek and Desmond Tutu and all those lovely people. But I must say, listening to you, I almost feel that the situation in most churches is the same. We have a difference between the leadership and the ordinary people in the church. So we have also in that Protestant church a long-standing theological reflection on Israel. And I can say I'm preaching and teaching in a lot of churches in Holland. That's my work. That I meet a lot of people who are pro-Israel, and you have written about it. There are the 4 of the 5 streams, Orthodox and Evangelical, in the Protestant Church, have written a statement. Leaders of those streams have written a statement that's that's an answer to the Kairos document. On the other hand, I see that there are a lot of young, new theologians and pastors who are influenced by people like Wright, and they embrace a new form of replacement theology, I think. And when I talk to them, they often accuse me of having more love for Israel than for Jesus. But I think that they mean that my love for Israel means that the church isn't number 1 in the history of salvation anymore, and that hurts, I think. They're the cheers of Asaph. When I look at my leadership, they look at both sides. On the one hand, they preach the love for Israel, but only for the Jewish people, not for the state. They think that the land of Israel is a non-biblical issue. With the New Testament, the whole matter of the land, of the possession of the land, of the inheritance of the land, has lost his importance. At the same time, and I also see that in many countries, I spoke yesterday to somebody from Australia, you see that those large traditional churches are decreasing very much. My church is losing every year 50 till 60,000 people. And so the church is drying up. The man I spoke to from Australia said, all those traditional Baptist and Presbyterian and Methodist churches are very small churches with old people above 60 years, and I see the same in my own church. And last week I had a meeting, a very new meeting, with all those new evangelical Pentecostal churches also in Holland, and we had a meeting with the chief rabbi we invited to Holland and those churches, and it was very interesting because it was very warm. They read a statement about Israel and about the land, though they are very pro-Israel, But on the other hand, it's not only gold. You see at the same time that they are very nervous about all those Jews who don't believe in Jesus, and they feel very comfortable with the Messianic Jewish congregations. And of course there are also many people in those Pentecostal and evangelical churches who are so focused on their personal relationship to Jesus and to God that they miss the whole point of the history of salvation, in which Israel plays a major role. So what we do as pastors in the Protestant church, and also as Christians for Israel, we try to develop a pro-Israel theology in which we tell that the New Testament affirms the Old Testament. The New Testament has come to realize the prophecies of the Old Testament. And Jesus is not only our Redeemer, our personal Redeemer, but he is also the King of the Jews. And we are looking forward to the coming of the kingdom. We bring together leaders and pastors of pro-Israel churches to change, congregations to change the direction of the church. That's what we do, and I have only used 6 minutes, so thank you for your listening to me.